And welcome back to Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Scott, joined right now by award-winning insurance agent. How are you?
I'm doing well, Mike.
Scott Bosler. 3 years he has been voted by Central Valley Magazine as the best,
well,
the top?
5-star home and auto professional.
Wow.
So,
do you have a big plaque on your wall at your office?
You know what? I don't have the big plaque.
What? They didn't give you anything for that?
Well, for a price, you can have the big plaque.
Oh, for a price. I know how those things work, yeah. But it's nice to you can put that on the web and on your website and all that, right?
Correct. And it is something where my clients thought enough of me to actually engage in an interview process, and they liked what I had to offer.
Yeah, because people have to actively go and vote for you.
Correct.
And so it says a lot when you do win.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I won some of those along the way during my career, so it was nice to get that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Kopi, if you hadn't been there, I would have been number one. We all love Kopi. All right, so Scott, tell me what you want the folks at home to know about you.
Well, Mike, it seems like these days I see a lot of people who are woefully underinsured. I mean, all the advertisement.
Let me look.
is it's all about price, right? I mean, you could repeat it for me. You could fill in the blanks. Give us 15 minutes and we'll save you 15%.
But you get what you pay for.
Yes, you're going to get quality whether you pay for it or not.
Well, you're going to get sitting on a phone line for hours trying to get through to customer service.
and that's another downside. And so
I bet if I called you, I get you on the phone within minutes.
Yes, you would.
Yeah.
And so I see people who are woefully underinsured. And it irritates me, actually. It's something I'm passionate about, is making certain my clients have the right protection. And certainly I'm going to pay attention to their budget. But I think people are premium conscious and they're coverage clueless. And so it's very important for people to understand what they have and the importance of having it.
They think they're covered, and then when they have an accident, they say, oh, sorry, that's not covered, or...
Correct. I mean, it can create the worst nightmare of their life if they don't have the proper coverage. So, I see people with net worths of $2 and $3 million who have $100,000 worth of liability coverage on their auto. Well, what most people don't realize is literally they jeopardize all of their current net worth and future earnings if a settlement exceeds the coverage they have on their policy. And so I want to make certain my clients never face that scenario.
All right. Does it cost substantially more to jack up that 100,000 coverage to, say, $500,000 coverage?
Great question. And what I usually tell people is literally for less money than it costs for a cup of coffee per day at Starbucks, you could easily raise that level to $500,000, which is what Dave Ramsey recommends, by the way. I'm his endorsed local provider for home and auto insurance. He recommends raising that level to $500,000. And in fact, if we put an umbrella policy over the top of it, we could have $1.5 million worth of coverage or 2.5, etc. And it might surprise you that literally for less money than it costs for 1 hour for one attorney, you can have $1 million of excess liability coverage. Does that surprise you?
Do you have a card on you?
I do happen to.
You're going to leave one before you go.
Yes, I am.
Wow. Well, how many people go for that kind of coverage?
Well, I would say
I'm seeing millionaires I can understand doing it, but your average guy on the street?
Yeah, and the average guy on the street, he has future earnings. So in a settlement situation, up to half of his income can be garnished until a settlement is paid off. Now, that becomes a game changer if all of a sudden half of your income evaporates to pay off a settlement. And so my personal opinion is even young people need an umbrella policy to protect all their future earnings. Can I tell you a story?
You may.
We have some close family friends, and their 17-year-old son was out in the country driving, realized that if he was going to make it back to town, he needed to be heading the other direction. So he pulled over the side of this two-lane country road, started to flip a U-turn, didn't see a motorcyclist coming at 55 miles an hour. It led to a violent collision, and in fact, it led to a fatality. Well, fortunately, the registered owner of the vehicle, his parents, had the right coverage. And recently I was talking with her, and she said, I could be your poster child for having an umbrella policy. And she said, otherwise, we would have lost both of our businesses. Well, we put at stake not only our current net worth, but future earnings. And so we want to protect the entire amount of income. In that situation, $1.5 million was paid out to the family of the motorcyclists. And so, if people thought about, well, how long would it take me to pay off $1.5 million settlement?
Long time.
It could be a long time.
Long time.
Yep.
Okay, you brought up Dave Ramsey.
Yes.
Of course, he's the guy on the radio.
Correct.
Who teaches people how to be good with their money, be wise with their money.
Correct, and get out of debt
Yeah.
and acquire financial independence.
And he does have these endorsed local providers,
Yes.
and you're one of the ones here in Fresno.
Yes.
Have you met Dave?
I have.
Yeah? Is he a good guy?
He is a great guy.
He sounds like a good guy on the radio.
Yes, I met him in person a couple different times, just very down to earth, the same guy on the radio that he is in person.
Yeah. And I love when people say, I wiped out my debts thanks to you.
Oh, yesterday I was meeting with some new clients, and in about a year's time, they had wiped out $30,000 worth of debt. A couple of student loans, some other credit cards. I was so proud of them. It was amazing.
Using Dave's methods.
Using Dave's methods.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
Yeah.
So what does being an endorsed local provider mean as far as what you do, the service you provide?
Yeah, it means that we're going to take a Dave Ramsey approach to people's protection. So he has very strong recommendations on what your critical coverage is. We make certain our clients have that critical coverage, and that provides them the financial insurance that they need for the long term.
Okay.
So.
Get your card out. Scott Bosler, Central Valley Insurance. How can folks reach you, Scott?
On the web at centralvalleyins.com or through our telephone number, 559 area code, of course, 802-4094.
Where's your office?
It's located in Visalia, and we have clients up and down the state.
Awesome. Scott,
So-
thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, Mike. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you for coming in, and we'll be back with more on Central Valley Talk.